Well, hello and a very warm welcome to one and all to the 251st episode of the Masterclass series Soul of Lions, a global talk show that celebrates the spirit of service and leadership with the Lions International Fraternity, proudly broadcasted in more than 190 plus countries till date. Ladies and gentlemen, today on the Soul of Lions, we have the privilege of welcoming one of the most multifaceted lion leader in the world, someone whose dedication has been exemplary since the last almost 4 decades, and his contribution has been magnanimous. He became a lion in 1986, and after joining the Beirut St. Nicholas Lions Club, he has held various positions within the association, including the district's international relations chairperson, the district LCIF chairperson, and many, many more. Additionally, he has also served as a Leo Club advisor and the guiding lion for many, many years. Finally, owed to his immaculate contribution to Lionism, he was elected to serve a two-year term as a director of the Lions Clubs International at the association's 104th International Convention in June 2022. In recognition of his service to the association, he has received numerous awards, including the Key of the State Award, the multiple Extension Awards. He's also the recipient of the multiple International Presidential Awards and International Presidential Leadership Medals. He has also been honored with the Ambassador of Goodwill Award, which is the highest honor the association bestows upon its members. And finally, he's also a progressive Melvin Jones Fellow. A blend of heart, head, and heroic action. Join me in welcoming a true Lions lion, the International Director, Lionistic Year 22-24, Lion Samir Abu Samrasa. Samir sir, hi. I would just like to probably just intrude and say that, yeah, your mic, I believe, is a little on mute. If you could just unmute it and we can start our conversation. Yes.
I'm muted. It's okay?
Yes, absolutely, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much for the superb introduction. Actually, in LCIF, I'm a major donor, not only progressive. I'm a major, okay, it's progressive as well, but you are a major donor. Thank you for the introduction you made. It's true that I'm a lion long time ago, and I passed all things that you can pass and think of. From campaign site first two to the GATT area leader to the LCIF to the Quest pilot program, Lions Quest, etc. And I'm proud of it. And I love it. And I do it from my heart because I would say I'm proud to be a lion, because when you really go into the true sense of lionism, if you really believe in it properly, it opens scopes to all your life. It's something really that happened to us in our lives, for our communities all over the world in more than 208 countries. Thank you for the introduction again, and I am open to any subject, any discussions.
Absolutely. Thank you, Samir, sir. Firstly, from the entire team of Soul of Lions, thank you so much for taking time out today and joining us and helping us share your story to the entire world of Lionism, as well as a lot of people who join this particular show and are prospective Lions and want to join the service. Starting off, sir, of course, we would love to firstly know about, your journey. When we talk about international directors in the Lionistic fraternity, everyone has that, the aura always follows before the person. And when we hear about international directors, everyone thinks that, how could we someday probably achieve the same position as these greats have done? So firstly, I would like to know a little about you. If you could tell our viewers where you come from, where you grew up, and finally, what prompted you to become a lion?
That's of course, it's a long story, but anyhow, I'll try to be as brief as possible. Actually, I'm built to serve. I mean, in my character, in my community, service is part of my life. So I found in Lionism, I saw a colleague who was my parent in the Beirut St. Nicholas Lions Club, who was working, and I really envied him for their teamwork to serve their community in all respects. We are not a charity organization or association. We are we create awareness in our communities. We safeguard our countries, our flag. In each country you are there to support your country, your environment, your the human that surround you, the water, the air that you breathe, the children, the medical, anything. So you create awareness so that you make a good citizen. So we have to create good citizenship. Okay, now actually, once I started, because I liked it so much, I was 10 years member at large, to tell you the truth, because I was working in UAE. So when I started in 1986, I traveled in 1987 and came back 1999. So 11 or 12 years, I was a member at large in my club, but I never missed an occasion when I visit on a vacation to join them and to pay my dues and to help in some issues they need or they require in the community. So I was a member at large actually. When I started in 1999. The year 2000, I was elected as a club president. 2001, zone chairperson. 2002, region chairperson. 2003, vice district governor. And 2004, district governor. And then 2005, sector coordinator for North Africa and the Middle East for campaign Cyprus 2. That started 2006-7. I started the Lions Quest pilot program. Then I went to the GST, then GLT, and then got area leader, then district coordinator for the LCI, etc., etc. I mean, so I passed through all of them until I reached, and I continued my journey of service. It's not journey of positions. What I love about our incoming president, the esteemed AP Singh, is that he believes that we are a service organization. When you go to lead, you serve to lead, and you lead with humility, to be humble, modest in your leadership. And nobody is more important than the other except in how he serves, how much he gives to the community. So service is really the name of the game. And we have 3 tripods. We shouldn't forget. I'd like to say it here. And I believe in the 3 of them. What are the 3 tripods we have? You know that in 1925, we had Helen Keller. After our great founder, Melvin Jones, 1925, we had Helen Keller, who challenged all the Lions to become the Knights of the Blind. And this is where sight first became a priority in our journey of service. So it's always there. Whatever you do, diabetes sometimes, hunger another, and then you have environment, then whatever. But vision is always there because we committed to be the Knights of the Blind. So that's one of the tripod. The second one is the leadership. And the leadership, is something not to lead to become the boss of anybody at all. Leadership, it's the skills of life. Whenever you speak, whenever you express, whenever you listen, whenever you want to really work, whenever to work in a team, whenever you want to solve problems, whenever you want to set your objectives and create your mission in life, to motivate others, etc. Wherever you go, we have so many issues in life where you need to master them. So if you want to go the ladder of working well and serving others well, you have to lead well. So leadership is our second foot of the tribe. And the third foot, of course, is the service. Serving in general. Now, here I want to highlight a few points in my journey of life, if you would allow me. You tell me if the time skips, whatever, please just hold me from not easy. I normally do not try. Do not, because I have it all in my heart, in my soul. Because this is all right here.
We've got all the time in the sir. You can continue.
Okay, thank you very much. And I want to thank here, we should not forget PID Raju Manwani, who's also the guy that motivated me to pass and give this small presentation. Now, I want to remind everyone that before GATT Global Action Team, we had before the MERL. Everybody knows the MERL. MERL, MERL, which is membership, extension, retention, and leadership. So you know it. And the people that passed in the whole history of Linus, they know well the MERL. And some people maybe don't remember or have forgotten or don't know about before the MERL. Before the MERL and along with the MERL team, when it started, we had the Impact Team. The Impact Team. The Impact Team is like the GATT. It is the education or leading people to create impact in their environment. They serve with impact. They lead with impact. And that is something really that is terrific. And I wish that some others go and make some research in the past to see what is this impact and what does it mean, because it's very, very beneficial and you can have rich information. So here, I want to, with the Impact Team, I want to recall something. I want to recall something. And I love that also people listen to this. We had a past president who is past international president Naresh Agarwal ji, who is a guy that before becoming president to the association, he had his heart and his soul in the work. Really, he did so much in this association. And out of the impact that we discussed right now, he spoke of the ratings of a club. And also this, I think, and I hope that people who are listening to me ask about it and try to do it, because he taught it to me in one of the forums. I attended all the Izami forums that were. I never missed one. So what is the ratings of the club? The club is composed of 4 components. The first one are the members, membership. If there are no members, then there is no club. Second is the meetings. What do the members do? They meet. So there is an art for the meeting. What do you do before the meeting? What do you do during the meeting? And what should you do after the meeting, following the meeting? That's the second. The third point is activities of service. Now, whenever the members meet, they meet to discuss what? To discuss issues of service or leadership or whatever. So activities that they should deliver. So that's the third part of the club. And the fourth part is the satisfaction of each member, the self-satisfaction. Are you satisfied as a lion in your club? Whoever you are. Finally, I'm a past director, but I commit to my club. When I was director, I was in my club. When you finish your term as a president, you go back to your club. So the club is the most important. Are you satisfied? And now, the ratings that I spoke about, that I was taught by our great past international president, In each one of these 4 chapters of the club, there are about 15 questions. So it's advisable that clubs come and work on these ratings so they answer those 15 questions. So you have around 50 to 60 questions. And it's not a riddle, it's not a quiz. Try to answer them, and they will give you the answer simply. And once you will be able to understand those 4 chapters and answer the questions, then you know a big lot about Lionism and how to serve and what do the members do and how do they lead their clubs. So this is something I wanted to speak about before we shift to the Merle. The Merle group, the Merle is what? It's the membership. So there was always, they were not as a team together. The membership had one responsible person, like they do now in an area, and then you have for the district, you have in the multiple district, etc. So you have a membership key persons, and also you have the E, the extension. The membership is to understand the issues. Extension is for increasing membership and adding clubs. And you have R for the retention. The retention is a very important issue in our journey of the Mission 1.5 now. The Mission 1.5 that was initiated by our trusted board of directors, I was with them at the time, and was motivated by our great incoming president, AP Singh, who really has the view of get more people, not more anybody, to get more service. We want to reach more than 1 billion people reached to serve, not 200, 300, 400, 500, at least. So this is the reason for it. So the retention plays a big part of it. So we need retention in our clubs. Let's not lose. Let's not get a member that he is shaking. And if he's shaking, his parent and sponsor should really work on him. Involve him. Give him the right thing. Give him the right tools of Lionism. And then he will stay and he'll be proud to stay. We lose few, but let's work on it. And the last one is the L, the Merle. The last one is the L, which is leadership. Leadership, of course, as I said earlier, is the name of the game, where you get your skills in all respects. And this is where I learned a lot, also myself. I listened well. I read a lot. Now, they found out, here I just put a small highlight that Lions International, in all respects, is a kitchen of research. When we worked on the quest, there was a big research done to understand what's this quest. Before the quest here, I'll highlight a point. If you remember, I don't know how long you've been a Lion, Navdeep, but we had a youth committee called Youth Outreach. We had 4 committees for youth. We had the LEO, we had the youth of the program for the adults, and we had the youth exchange that go to visit other areas and countries, you know about it. And those 3 are still there. But the youth outreach was replaced by the Lions Quest. Why was it replaced by the Lions Quest? Because the youth outreach used to treat those children the ages of 9 to 13, 14, whatever, that starts to be drug addicts, smoke addicts, alcohol addicts, or all kind of things that will, in your way of developing as a human being, they are going to harm you and hurt you a lot and distract you from your own objectives. So because of the research that we spoke about, the research that made the impact team grow up and make the Merle teams, and the quest now was found that it really builds the positive thinking for the youth from the age of 5 to 8, 11 to 13, and 15 to 18. So we follow up our generations. And this is a big role of Lions. This is when I started by saying it's not charity. It's leading our generations to become a positive energy, strong. They don't go to the negativity. And this is, if somebody knows, the outcome of the Quest program is to have, after 100 years, peace in all the world. Because if we don't have anybody having a negative reaction towards somebody else, you will have less conflicts, less wars, and people will be homogeneous and live together, hopefully, happily, if it's working out. So research in Lions, we should never forget. It's something great, and it's carrying on. So we worked on the intelligence quotient, which is, when you say Lions, there's liberty intelligence for our nation's safety. Intelligence is the intelligence quotient, the IQ. Now with the Quest, we went to the EQ, the emotional quotient, because the youth outreach before, and now the Lions Quest, it's based on the emotional quotient, on the EQ. And now who knows, we're working on the SQ later with all what we do in Lions. Okay, now once we finished with Merle, they found out that Merle was not a team. It was each one working separately.
Yeah.
Each one did his work on his own, but they were not a team. We call it the Merle team, but each one had his own account to work in a direction. They found out that the GATT, which is the Global Action Team, could combine all these leadership, service, and all other issues that we work on together. They complement each other and work as a team, because the community will need three of them, at least the three of them, which is the GMT, the Global Membership Team, which includes the retention, and they added to it now the GET, which is the Global Extension for new clubs, and the GLT, which is leadership, and the GST, which is the service. So this gives synergy to the three, because when you add 1 + 1 + 1, it gives 3. But if you put the 1 and the 1 and the 1 in a small closed pot, and you shake it and you roll it and you create heat in it and let them go and mix together, and the result will be, it might be multiplied, not 3, a big multiple of 3. So we work all hand in hand to really lead, and with this leadership we serve, and then we have to not forget that the Mission 1.5 needs the membership, and it needs the GET, which is extension of clubs. And this is why I believe in the logo when he was a candidate, our incoming president, AP Singh, that said, lead to serve and serve to lead. This is meaningful, and it's in the heart of our work as Lions. So I want to share with you this small history of what I have passed, how I learned, and how I find that now I find myself a good member of the society because I served a lot, I could help a lot, and that makes me proud of myself and of my team all together working together. Thank you for listening to me for the time being.
Absolutely. No, I think that's fantastic. The experiences that you've shared. I think the experiences that all you leaders have is what has been an inspiration to all of us who are continuing in the system and help us every single day in terms of motivating us to continue further. Samir sir, I'll break down some of the conversation that we have into different parts just to align the audience also in terms of understanding all the aspects of Lionism. So I'll start off, of course, with something that you mentioned very profoundly, which is leadership. I think that is something which will be a great place to start off with. When we talk about leadership, of course, Lions has a fabulous repertoire of a lot of leadership institutes. They've got a great collection of LLC courses. There's a lot of information, but also there is a lot of practicality involved in terms of practicing leadership. You're getting positions to lead projects, you're getting opportunities to do things when it comes to leading men, leading a bunch of people, and exhibiting your leadership also. What I would like to know from your end is you've almost completed around 4 decades into the fraternity. Even if you were a member at large, you were in touch with the organization. What I would like to firstly know from your end is, have the leadership aspects and the avenues that Lions provides to practice leadership increased in the last 4 decades, with regards to specifically talking about leadership? Your perspectives are.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, actually, this is a very important. I said we had the tripod, and this is one of the three. So it is a key function in our association. You see, it has developed greatly. It has developed greatly. You cannot compare 40 years ago how they used to lead in the leadership training with now. It is it's a complete setup. Now, Lions are leaders of leadership. Why? Because we have in each club, they have opened the chance during the GAT team that we discussed. The vice president of a club is in charge of the leadership in the club. So he's part of the GAT team international, but he has to do it. And I'm mentioning this to really involve those in the clubs, not to forget that the first vice president, not the second, the first vice president of the club should really study, even if he didn't attend, he go and learn and try to get himself involved in leadership courses. And leadership, every district, I think, in our district 351, there isn't a year that we don't have at least one ELLI and one RLLI, and before 2 years, one FDI. And even sometimes ALLI that's now gone, and we know why it's gone. And not only in one country, because our district has 3 countries, and it's done in the 3 countries. So now, the development that's happening, we have new, just to put some light on it, we have new club members, and we have club members with 2-3 years or 1 or 4 years experience, but are not yet club presidents and are not yet maybe club secretaries or have a big function in the club. We cannot forget them. So they have created, this is one of the developments that came, they can attend the ELLI, and district governors should encourage them to participate and make more than one ELLI in the district first, because the ELLI is the Emerging Lions Leadership Institute that accepts lions that have not been president or secretaries. They could participate. You put for them the first step towards understanding the skills of diversity, the skills of time management, the skills of etc., because you increase their skills not only in lionism, but their personality has a wider scope, can understand more, and help them in their work wherever they are. The second development is that we have the RLLI, which is also done, and it is supported by Lions International. They put some funds, they pump some funds in it also. And that is the Regional Leadership Lions Institute, which will go to the club presidents, people that have taken committees in the district, etc., people that are with some experience, and we give them more value in the leadership training. So it's carrying on. Now, unfortunately, the ALLI, which is the Advanced Leadership Institute, stopped 2 years back. And it stopped because the budgets involved in it are better to be placed in the second vice district governor training. And now we have a second vice district governor training. Before it was only the first vice district governor training that has become the incoming governor. Now they added, so you cannot get, I mean, the budget is still limited. So the ALLI was thought that it will go to the leaders that are coming to the district later. So it's no more now there. But the FDI, the Faculty Development Institute, which is also a big chance for those who have done the ELLI and the RLLI and maybe the ALLI sometimes, they have the chance now to help their district and their leaders in training. So to be faculty developers. So faculty development people, institutes will train them. The FDI, you can train them. But now, last year and nowadays, it's no more available easily in a district. In constitutional areas, they place 2 or 3 places in each constitutional area where they take some candidates to join. And they have to select the quality candidates that can participate. So it's still there. It's still helpful to get people join the FDI. But a big addition was done. And the new trend, which was started maybe 6 years ago, I think, I'm not sure about all the details. I'm not the expert. I mean, the leadership departments, I don't want to take their place in Mumbai or in Oakbrook, but I'm just what I learned. The LCIP program. The LCIP program, the Lions Instructors Program, that is a new one, and it's a very efficient one, and it really produces key trainers that can now handle the important training for leaders to come. Was there a development in the leadership? There was a big development. Was the leadership effective? Of course. Did I learn anything from it? I did them all. I mean, all except the LCIP. I'm a FDI student. I did the advanced. I did the ELLI, and I was a trainer before, and I did it in many countries in the Middle East, like in Jordan, like in Iraq, like in Bahrain, and in Lebanon, and I enjoy it. And it's part of my life because once you go deep in it, it gives you so much, really, in your
Absolutely.
personality, and a big help. And thank you for throwing this question. I don't know if I answered your question, but I threw the light a little bit on it.
You were very thorough, sir. A fantastic answer. I love the answer. Just a follow up question on what you mentioned about leadership. You mentioned all the avenues. You mentioned everything, as an opportunity which is available for Lions once they join the fraternity. What my follow up question rather to you on leadership was, could you highlight one or two pointers that have made an impact on you once you attended all these fantastic leadership institutes? Because I believe the viewers today would love to know how do these leadership institutes personally impact an individual, with confidence or with any sort of knowledge interpretation or people skills, those things. If you could just highlight one or two instances, that'll be amazing.
Yeah. In all respects, thank you for the question. Actually, they really led me to. I'll start from the end. They were the motivation. They gave me more self-confidence, self-trust. My steps or my feet were, the path of my feet were more solid on the ground. Once you see you are knowledgeable, once you have the skills, then your feet are more solid and your objectives become clearer to you. And they led me to say, why I don't make an international director if I have done all this? And now I'm knowledgeable. I worked a lot. I studied a lot. So, of course, it has, polished my personality. It polished my personality. It gave me self-confidence more and more. And it gave me so much knowledge, much knowledge to know how to say no sometimes. Time management is something great. When you speak about time management, it's not controlling your the watch you have in your hand or coming on time. It's not that at all. It is to be able to know how to set your priorities. Isn't this a great lesson I learned? How to set my priorities. Time management is setting your priorities. And the second point, I'll make it easy in 2 points. One, the setting of the priorities. And the second is how to say no. Many times we are obliged in the path of our life to help our brother, our son, our fathers, and people around us. We take from ourselves because we serve. But with time management, if you really don't have the possibility in time and the means to do it, you have to be brave enough to say politely and with wisdom that I cannot. Sometimes you have to say the no. That's part of the time management and knowing your priorities. If you don't know your priorities, then you don't know where to start. So, for example, I'm speaking a specific example that I learned a lot from. Time management in Lionism. It's a course also that you really adapt to, and it's great. What about diversity? Diversity is not segregation. It's not many people. It is just the contrary. It adds to teamwork. You take from the talents of so many people around you, diverse experience, try to benefit from it, know how to do it. So this subject, the question for me personally, really I would say leadership in Lionism and the courses I took and the practical experience I did and I handled really not only polished, it gave a big push. It boosted my personality and helped me to reach what I am today. That's very important.
Fabulous. I think that's a great explanation. A lot of people would be very inspired in terms of understanding and now inclined towards building their leadership skills also. Thank you so much, sir, for that sharing that we had of knowledge as well as your experience. Moving on to a very important and a very extremely exciting topic that you mentioned is catering to diversity. I think Lionism has always been, a platform which is catered to diversity. We are distributed around the world, so many clubs, and still we've got like a fantastic foundation in terms of curriculums. My question to you, sir, of course, especially because you belong to Constitutional Area 6, which is, in being and also, in existence, a very different constitutional area compared to the others, and yet a very important one. My question to you, sir, is do you think Lionism is doing enough to cater to all the constitutional areas in a particular manner? Or do you endorse the fact that there should be some look at the customizations of curriculums as well as catering from Lionisms or Lions International towards each constitutional areas?
You've touched a subject that really needs consideration. Okay, there are here three, four questions in one. I will answer it one at a time. The first one is diversity and how does it affect? In leadership courses, coming back to leadership, there is a leadership program or course which is called change management. Change management. In Lionism, every year, club president is changing, international president is changing, international directors change, even 2 years, but there is a continuous change. So a club and a leader has a vision, and the club president has a vision. The president international has a vision, and then another year we have another one. So there is always a continuous change in Lionism. But nevertheless, with the diversity that we have, look what a big diversity, and with the change, how to manage, how to lead our association. That topic, I think, in the soul of Lionism should be taken and should be dealt with separately. It's super important. When you go to a house, in your friend's house, you sit on the same chair. You've been friends for 20 years with somebody, you choose your chair. If they change it, you feel lost. So how about Lionism, which is always in change, continuous change? And here I have to salute also our GATT constitutional area leader not in India. In India, it is my great friend Sunil Kumar, but in the Middle East and other Islamic part, it is Sanjay Khaitan. He started and he motivated and he worked hard on the specialty clubs that you get each group from this diversity, get a group together that they look like each other. They match each other and make a club. So diversity, change management, specialty clubs, all these need a topic. Now I come to a more important question that you said. Should we look at the constitutional areas all the same? That's a beautiful question, and I have a lot to say there. That we don't have enough time to speak about it, but I'm going to highlight some points, and I'm going to be frank about it.
100%.
In the Izami now, we are approaching the 400,000. We are 80,000. In India alone, we are reaching the 300,000, 285, 290,000, only in India. So it's a developing. It is, here I want to highlight something. Why India? Nobody asked this question. Why India has taken this Lionism and in a fast way, not only in number, in heart. They have taken it at heart. Why? If you studied Gandhi, God bless his soul, and you see Lionism in his heart, he was the one that said, you will be a human being only when you lose yourself in the souls of others. Our Melvin Jones said, you cannot be a human being until you do something good for someone else, serve somebody else. So if you look at the sayings, go back and read on them and you see how it is. So the Indian, let's say, education, culture in all areas of India, which is vast, believes in service. And this issue of Lionism really goes deep in the heart. So this is why I think that's my personal estimation. It's not from any book, it's from anything. It's what I believe because I could see it. I'm living with this area. I'm living with in India, in Nepal, in Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and all these areas where I am passing long time. So the Indian has this in them. And so this constitutional area built up. Nepal followed. They are 48,000 now. Bangladesh is 24,000 now. Sri Lanka is more than 20,000. So it is building up. Now the Middle East, I hope when there is some peace, it will grow up again. So this constitutional area is prepared for the ideals of Lionism, for serving, for leading. They love to learn and lead and help others and be in their communities. Now, if we look now, how does Oakbrook and the Lions International look at everywhere else? Africa was not a constitutional area until 5 years ago. And Africa was part of the Izami. We had AA. Now we took 1A. So it's Izami with 1A. Before it was AA. And of course, being an old lion, I'm always going to Africa, and they have a great leader now who is second vice. He will be coming second vice international president, Manoj Shah. Dr. Manoj Shah also led Africa. I lived with him for a long time when he was developing Africa, and I saw what he made. And I saw how he set a model, how he was a role model for all lions in Africa. An African that did great to Africa, and he's really a very promising, also incoming leader. So Africa could make it. We waited and waited. Not only 30,000, now we are 35, 36,000, but they are all motivated. The people that were lazy and hesitating, many of them left already. And we need some affection and more support to Africa from Lions International. Also, they need it. When I come to the Ozil, they are the reservoir for LCIF. They're doing a great job as donors. As you see, most of the lead donors and the millions of people that the biggest numbers and the most efficient are from the Far East, are from Hong Kong or from Japan or from Taiwan, etc., or Thailand, etc. I don't want to go in detail, but they are doing their share. They are keeping themselves. They are not growing very much in numbers, but they reached 290,000 plus. They are 292,000 now. Now the areas where there is some worry and where we need, and Lions International and Oakbrook should place a plan and let's study, make a research that I spoke about. Canada is a great country, but it is suffering in the last 10 years. Well, we went from 42,000 to 32,000 or 31,000 now. and we are not getting plus in the clubs. Maybe membership they're trying to keep it up, so we have to work in that direction. Europe, similarly. Europe, we need the younger people to be attracted. We should set programs to attract the young generations. I mean, things have changed. We don't want to wait for somebody who is on retirement only to work as a lion, because now he has the time. We want also to involve and to motivate the younger generations. Give them the programs that really let them be involved. Let us attract them. Those will help in Europe and in USA, that also have a similar problem. Because USA, I don't know, there are 260,000, 250,000 total with the islands, not USA alone. Europe is 230,000 maybe. So don't count the numbers. I mean, just the view. So Lions should look on each constitutional area separately, not to give award, I'm saying, to those who are doing great things and the others no. How to, because in Lions, we help our younger brothers. When you are a zone chair, you look at the club that is weak and you hold him up. You help him to come and become strong. So those areas we have to study how to really put more energy and get the youngsters there and get more programs so that we all together raise, because Lions International can save the world. Lions is a source of service in each and every community in so many hundreds of countries. That's what I feel about.
Absolutely. I think fantastic once again, sir, a very thorough answer. You mentioned another very important point, which is obviously the youth. My next question to you obviously was, with regards to Leoism. Now, you mentioned a very important topic that we need to attract the youth. We need to kind of do things so that the youth also gets recognized. In relation to this, I had a very minute observation during my stint as the Leo district chairperson. I was honored to have that position with myself for 2 years. And what I observed was that the constitutional area 6 has a directly inverse proportionality ratio when it came to alpha and omega clubs to the constitutional area 1. Now, because the constitution and the bylaws have been governed since a long time, in relation to the Leos also from the constitutional area 1, from where Leoism began, things have now come on to a particular, stage where I believe it's a lot more important to recognize Leos as no more a functioning or other supportive function, but an absolutely full-fledgedly contributing function. I believe the concept of them only being seen as volunteers needs to change. Most of the Leos, if I talk about only the constitutional area 6, are ones who are even paying taxes, in the age group of 18 to 30 and have their own businesses also. What is your feel about this inverse proportionality of ratios of alpha and omega clubs in various constitutional areas, and how should this particular disparity be handled and addressed?
You see, this topic is the name of the game. First of all, I want to tell you, before I answer the second part, how do I look at Leo? And not youth in general, about Leo. I have made several presentations during when I was a director in different areas. I've forgotten where it was. Once it was in Boston, once it was in India. We went to a program, whatever it is. Anyhow, what I want to say here, I never look at the Leo as a support. Excuse me, don't be upset with me. It's a wrong recognition. Leo are never the support. They are not a support. Leo are lions are an entity, complete entity that serve their communities in accordance with their professions and their age and their mentalities at the age of 40 and 50 and 60 and 70 maybe. Leo are doing the same work. We are partners. We are, although we call that a Leo club is an activity of a lion, I don't know what they should work here. Here we should do something about it. It's by name, it's activity. It's not the truth. The truth is that the Leo works as a club independently, like the main club, but they do things with the zest, with the pulse they have. I mean, they can themselves go and plant trees and clean rivers. They themselves can, when they see some people are in need in an earthquake or in a place where you have a trembling and problem, they go themselves and they paint the houses, they change the roofs. They can use their personal. And now you are speaking about the AI, artificial intelligence. You are speaking about new technologies. It's not like before we are depending on the old, they have some experience and knowledge. Now knowledge is there. So the Leo, Alpha, and especially the Omega Leos, they are independent, professional entities that they do many places more than the parent club. So they are needed in our community as an independent value. And they have to think and work, and we need their minds. And now they are all working. I mean, people, when you are speaking about 25, 28 years, 21, 27, 30 years, they already have their businesses. Some of them are so successful. And they work and can support as well others. So it's not the retired people that do the work. It is the youth. And a place where there is no youth, there is no continuity. Not because they inherit, no. Because at the same time, you cannot function if you don't have the youth working and starting. And this is what we should do in other constitutional area. In Europe, we have less Leos. It's going down. In our areas, they are there. They like it. They are innovative. They work with their hearts. They don't think. And they are aggressive in their works. So what we should do, again, this we should draw attention to Lions International, to the departments there, and anyone that has input. It's not enough to have the Leo district, because now we have, you can do the Leo district now. You have 6, 7 clubs, then they gather in a district, and that's a Leo district. It's not that we don't need to make them bosses, and that they are. It's not what's needed. It is to get what's in their hearts and the passion, because the passion is still on fire, and the big work they can do, and the idealism they have, because they believe in their societies. They saw so many things when they are being rising up, and they want to change. They want to make their community better. So Leos, Alpha, and Omega, and all youth programs should be boosted, should be really studied properly, and given a big chance so that we could make good use of them. They are not supportive at all. They don't belong to anyone. We only give them the name. Like a father, when he gives his son the name, he gets birth. But when he is on his own, he is independent 100%. He has the respect. He has the respect he gets from the experience. He studies something, benefits from some of it, but his personality is completely different, and he drives in his own direction. Thank you for this thinking. Youth is the name of the game.
Absolutely. I think so. That's an absolutely fantastic way to end the show, because honestly, that's the amount of time that we have on the show today. But youth is the name of the game. Is I think the last sentence that we heard here on the show in terms of the comments that we had and the questions and the answers we heard. Thank you so much from the entire team of Soul of Lions, Amit sir, for coming on the show, for sharing such wealth of wisdom and knowledge. I'm sure all the people who've joined us today on the show would be very, very intrigued and very inspired by the knowledge that you shared with us today. And I'm sure everyone's wishing you well. We at Soul of Lions wish you well and hope you keep going strong again and again. Thank you so much once again, sir, for coming.
Thank you, my dear. And we see you very soon on many other occasions. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
See you soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Samir Abu Samra from Lebanon, and he's been a fantastic lion for more than 4 decades. You've all seen how a lion can actually impact various amount of lives. Being in lionism can do a lot more compared to what they can do individually. That's the game of the game, as he says very fondly in most of his remarks once he ends them. Until the next episode, this is your host, Lion Navdeep Nigam, bidding good night and goodbye.